Good afternoon, Prime Minister Najib, ladies and gentlemen from the media. We've had a good series of meetings this morning. It's our annual retreat. It allows us to take stock of our existing cooperation and to explore new areas to work together. Our bilateral ties are good. We are working well together. Our M+S projects in Singapore as well as in Iskandar, Malaysia are progressing, have had good market response. And I'm confident that our friendship and cooperation will continue. And in fact, we have been helping each other quietly in times of need. For example, most recently, with the war in Yemen, Malaysia helped us to bring some Singaporeans who were there back home. And after the earthquake in Nepal, Singapore also assisted in bringing some Malaysians home from Kathmandu. We discussed a range of cooperation projects this morning, the most important of which, of course, is the high-speed rail project. And I told Prime Minister Najib that we had decided in Singapore that the terminus for the high-speed rail in Singapore would be located at Jurong East, in the Jurong Lake District, which is a regional hub and which is going to be our second central business district. The terminus there will change the face of Jurong and create opportunities for our citizens and businesses and draw the people of Singapore and Malaysia closer together and connect up our businesses with opportunities. This is a game changer. You can go up to KL in a day, have lunch and return to Singapore, or you come down to Singapore for a day, do business because our hawker food not quite so good, and go back to KL again. It's a very ambitious project. It's a challenging one to carry out, many complicated parts to structure properly and to implement well. So we looked at the timeline, and the original timeline of 2020, I think, is not really a realistic one. We have to take a bit more time to do it well, but to do it without delay. So we will be tasking our officials to relook at the timetable while we work out the agreement between Singapore and Malaysia on how to structure the project. We hope to have the agreement between the two sides done by the end of the year, and when the agreement is settled, we will also be able to announce an updated timeline as to when the trains will start running. Apart from HSR, we also took stock of how we are improving our connectivity, and we discussed ways in which we are improving our CIQ facilities and increasing the capacity of the throughput. And in Singapore, on the Singapore side, we are implementing biometrics. We are having automated self-clearance lanes, and we are having more car counters during peak periods. And I think the Malaysians are enhancing their facilities as well. And this is both a matter of efficiency, but also a matter of security and rigor, because we cannot afford to have people cross the border without having been properly checked, screened, and made sure that they are safe and do not pose a security or an immigration risk. Other issues we discussed included cooperation on water. I thank Prime Minister Najib for the good cooperation which PUB and BAKAJ, which is the Johor Water Authority, have enjoyed, and also to thank him for the federal government's support of the Johor River Barrage project, which is a project to build a barrage on the Johor River so as to keep out saltwater intrusions during dry seasons and allow Singapore and Johor to draw the full capacity of the river even during dry seasons. There are some delays to the barrage project because of the wet weather, but we are trying to catch up, and Singapore will give full cooperation to BAKAJ for BAKAJ to complete the work in good time. However, as Johor develops, the demand for water from the Johor River will grow, and there's also the factor of global warming, which is making our weather less predictable, more extreme weather, which means wet seasons, but also long dry spells. And this will affect the reliable yield of the Johor River and affect the 250 million gallons per day that the PUB is entitled to draw from the Johor River. The river barrage will increase the yield of the river, but we will need to work closely together to develop more schemes to ensure a reliable supply. And this is something which the two sides will talk about. So I'd like to thank Prime Minister Najib for a good retreat. There are other issues too which we talked about, but those are things which the officials can follow up and which are also in the joint statement which we have released. And I look forward to visiting Malaysia in November for the ASEAN Summit and to going to Malaysia again next year when it's Malaysia's turn to host a retreat. So thank you for being a very good guest this time.
Thank you.